everybody, and welcome to the Talk Slot Boys. I am your host. My name is Tyler, and as always, I am joined by the boys. We've got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
Howdy doodly, everybody.
One of our most anticipated albums of the year is finally upon us. Rain City Drive's self-titled album. It is their second album with Matt McAndrew as the lead vocalist, and their first album under their brand new name, that is Rain City Drive and not Slaves. We can buy merch now, and we're all very happy about it.
The logo's cool.
Yeah. This is, the logo is really cool, honestly. I want it tattooed on my mouth. Anyway, I liked this album quite a bit. I thought it was a really solid album. Personally, I don't like it as much as To Better Days, but I have a pretty heavy bias because that is one of my favorite albums, like, of all time, like top 10 albums ever for me. So this one, there was no chance that this was going to live up to that in my eyes, but it was still a very good album, and especially as far as albums that have come out this year, it's up there for me. It is up there for me, and I'm excited to talk about it. But I want to hear what you guys thought about the album overall before we get into the process of ranking shit. So, Brandon, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of Rain City Drive's self-titled album?
I think it's a good record. It's like towards the top of my albums of the year, probably hovering right around like the top 10-ish area. It's definitely not as good as To Better Days. I think To Better Days has a lot more recognizable songs in it. Like obviously like Eye Opener. I still jam Secrets all the time. And like that's only like a few out of like the rest of the record. Like I feel like that record's a lot more well-rounded and has a lot more to offer like throughout. Not saying this is a bad record at all. I really enjoy this record, but this is the quote-unquote sophomore slump, and it's really not even a slump. Like it's still a very solid and good record.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very good for the first coming out as Rain City Drive instead of Slaves.
Hell
so,
yeah.
I like it. Thumbs up.
Kyle, where are you at with this
I love
record?
it.
Nice.
I really like it a lot, actually. It's about on par with To Better Days for me personally.
Okay.
But I don't think I hold To Better Days in such a high regard as either of you two. And the reason why I'm like kind of tipping towards I like this one a little bit better is in general with this album and every song I listened to, I got the feeling that Matt McAndrew was so much more of in the process of this album. Like it kind of felt like there's a bit of a disconnect with like Matt slotting in the last album. Like you don't really know where in the process he like joined and like what songs were written with another vocalist. Ooh.
I don't think they wrote any of the songs off To Better Days with
No?
That was all with him, I believe.
Was it all with Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I still feel like this album like had more of like Matt's like vocal style in mind, or even if it's just like Matt found his voice a little bit more in this one, because I did like that was like my one critique in like one or two songs maybe on To Better Days was that I didn't love the way that like Matt sang in some songs, but in this album, holy shit, Matt McAndrew is fucking phenomenal. I'm gonna go as far to say as this little hot take right here. Matt McAndrew is the best vocalist we've ever talked about on this show. I know it's like a spicy take. It's my opinion.
Honestly,
I just think, like, technically, I think he's actually insane. Some of the stuff in this album is wild.
I agree. I was actually going to bring up the fact that I think that, just personally, I think that he is probably my favorite male vocalist of all time, and
same.
Because it's hard to compare like male and female vocalists. I feel like different strengths and weaknesses, right? But
for sure,
I definitely think that like on a technical level, he is one of, if not the best vocalist that we've like talked about on the show, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think like I already thought he was like way up there after To Better Days, and this album like giga solidified it for me. Like on almost every single track, I like giga praise everything he's doing, and like there's like little like technical things that he's doing, and like there are some things like Dying For especially where like he just like does some crazy vocal jumps, but like we'll get into that as we go. But in general, I really like the album. Definitely kind of in the same realm though as you, Brennan, where it's like somewhere in my top 10. On more listens, perhaps it'll rise. And with other things coming out, we have a lot of things coming out this year, like Polyphia just talking about pre-ordering their new album, which I'm excited. You've got a lot of things competing this year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, well, we are going to do what we always set out to do here on this little old show. We're going to rank every single track on this record from worst to first. I'm going to start off by just listing out the tracks in the order they appear, and then we're going to dive right into it. I also think I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to cut away for like 2 seconds.
Don't do it, bitch.
And I didn't have to sneeze. So, track number 1 is Waiting on You. Track number 2 is Gardens of Misery. Track number 3 is Dreams. Track number 4 is Dying For. Track number 5 is Nothing Left. Track number 6 is Psycho. Track number 7 is Cutting It Close. Track number 8 is Blood Runs Cold. Track number 9 is Eternity. Track number 10 is Ophelia. And track number 11 is If I Was Right. Boys, I think there's like a hard last place for this album.
I agree. I was actually just about to jump on in.
I think that If I Was Right does nothing for me, unfortunately.
I don't agree that it does nothing, but like in comparison to like some of the crazy shit they do, especially with like the trap influences and so many other songs, and even on top of that, they try it like in Psycho, you got like a completely different vibe in that song as well, where it kind of ventures out of the comfort zone. That this song, while like a beautiful ending, is just like cool acoustic piece. They sound good, and pretty way to end the album. Like it does what it needs to do as an album ender, I think, and that's about it for me.
It's fair. Brendan, what do you think about this track?
I mean, it's kind of the token, like, I guess, ballad kind of track. I mean, it's not that it doesn't do anything for me, but I feel like literally every other song on the record actually, like, does a decent bit. I think there's other tracks that are kind of weak, but this one to me is probably the weakest, although I don't think it's bad. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get agreement with me as far as putting it as dead last, unfortunately.
All right.
So,
you in agreement, Kyle?
Yep, I'm done.
Cool. Easiest bottom slot ever done. That was quick and easy. Now it gets tough. I don't really know what we're gonna put next. Brennan, what songs were you referencing that you think are the weaker ones on the album?
I think Gardens of Misery is kind of weak. I feel like it's like a really safe track, especially coming right after Waiting on You. Because like Waiting on You, like a lot of records we discussed before, like the opening track either like sets the bar really high or gives you a taste of what the rest of the record is like. And I feel like Waiting on You kind of does both. And to me, it's kind of a drop off going from Waiting on You to Gardens of Misery. Because it is like a very safe track. Like the chorus isn't like, outstanding like some of these other tracks. The breakdown's like kind of weak. I mean, like, granted, like this band's not like super heavy. Like you're not gonna have like fucking crazy pits or anything listening to this, but like just kind of how they like wrote it and like performed it, I'm not really as high on it as I am as a lot of the other tracks on this record. So for me, I'd probably put Gardens of Misery like towards the bottom.
That's a fair take. I mean, I like that song, but I do sort of agree that it is like a very safe track. Because I think for everything it does right, because the chorus especially is like very, very basic. I like it personally. I think it's pretty catchy, but comparative to some of the other tracks on the album, I mean, like it doesn't hold a candle.
Right.
Some of the choruses on here are just like actually perfect. So
yeah.
I definitely am in agreement that Gardens of Misery objectively should probably be in this bottom half. Kyle, what do you think?
I'm like kind of in the same boat. If I'm being honest with you, like I really have no idea where to go next. I have like a couple in mind that are like the tip top for me, and then after the album ender, I really had no idea what to put next. So
That's fair.
Like, which is cool because like I think every single song on this album, other than that album ender, I could just fucking throw on and have a good time with, and I cannot say that about most albums. I mean, we've said that before about a few albums in particular, but I don't know. In this song, I think that they have some like really cool building bits here and there where like in that second verse, like halfway through, they like double time it there and like really picks up to like drive you out into that second chorus that kind of like gives like a natural progression of the whole song. I also love the way that like the chorus, while it is kind of basic, the way that they exit the chorus every time, and they have like the really like strong fucking driving, just like chuggy chords. And it kind of like is a bit of like a contrast to like the rest of the chorus. So like in general, I think that's cool. However, like you said, Tyler, like the majority of other choruses on this album are like absolute banger status. I love so many of these choruses, and this is like on the lower end. So I'm not too opposed to putting her down lower-ish.
Do we want to slot this in at second to last, or is there anything else like in contention for this spot, do we think?
The only other track that I think deserves to be in the conversation is Eternity. For similar reasons. Like Gardens of Misery, does have like some pretty like interesting bits. And I feel like Eternity's kind of in a similar boat in the fact that it doesn't really do a whole lot as far as like what a lot of these other tracks on the record do. I don't know if it's better than Gardens of Misery or like right on par with it, but these are probably the two, other than the last track, that like grabbed me the least.
I think Eternity is better than Gardens of Misery. Because I think, what was that, Kyle?
Same. I agree. I think it's better.
Yeah.
My only real issue with Eternity was that the chorus is, like we said, like it's a safe chorus. It's good, but it's not great compared to some other ones. But I don't think it's as safe as Gardens of Misery at all. The biggest thing that I really like about Eternity, verse 2 of the song goes super hard. Like they switch up like the lyrical flow, like the time signature, maybe. I'm not that technical with it, but like it's just the way that is like structured with the vocals in verse 2 switches it up into like a completely different song, but it still works perfectly with the way that like the core of the song is written. And that was like really impressive to me. Like when I think about that song, my mind immediately jumps to the second verse. I don't know if that's enough to save it from being like lower, but I would definitely put it above Gardens of Misery. Like 100%, no contest. Kyle, it sounds like you want this song to be a lot higher.
I really didn't want to talk about this song yet, but I will just say in general, my favorite thing about this entire album is that the way that like Matt or like whoever wrote Matt's part for him, I'm sure he had at least some kind of part in it. They almost at times in this song especially, he becomes like his like another instrument in the band at times, like how percussive some things get, especially in that second verse. But like in general, like there are just so many times where even like he jumps up really high in that like really like light part right before the first chorus, where he kind of just dances, and it's got like its own like percussive little thing, and it happens all over the place in this album. But especially in this song, he like creates like this like contrasting time signature thing, like you were mentioning in that second verse, that is just so fucking cool. The moment I heard it, I was like, oh, wow, this is neat. And then also the fact that this song, I think lyrically, Eternity is like one of the coolest songs on the album, in my opinion. Like it's very smart word choice in a lot of ways to like just kind of like hint at some like kind of deeper meanings and stuff. And then all the time just being really blatant. And in general, the fact that like that really light thing I mentioned with the I don't want to be thing, anybody but you, how that comes back in like the final chorus and he hits that absolutely fucking insane like passionate high note.
Oh yeah. That part was sick.
Like chill inducing for me. So I really like Eternity.
Yeah.
But I also don't 100% I don't 100% disagree with anything that you guys knocked it for, but in general, I think some of the stuff it does is some of the best on the album.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that I definitely think that Eternity does way more right than it does subpar. I think the chorus is really the only aspect of that song that I think kind of like holds it back a bit, just because the chorus is like a little bit safer than what the rest of the song as a whole is kind of doing. I will ask you, Kyle, what song or songs would you think deserve to be under Eternity?
Personally, the other one I thought of when we were talking about like songs to come next, as much as I like the song, and I'm gonna say that basically everything I throw out at this point, is Dreams myself of the singles.
Yes.
I really like the song. Think it's really good. However, I just feel like it keys in a lot to like the electronic ballady style, and it does like depart from like a lot of their like standard like, if we want to say it again, trunk. But it's more like trop because it's poppier than punky. So I don't know how you'd say that, but I don't know how exactly you'd make that happen. But
What do you?
I like that, you know, there are very little things added in throughout Dreams, and a lot of like really cool light layered like doubling vocals that turn into a backing vocal halfway through a line, and like there's a call and response bit at the end of the second verse is like really cool. A lot of cool falsetto moments, but in general, like instrumentally, because it leans more into that electronic-y ballad style, the instrumentals don't like strike me as much in the song overall. So
That's fair.
It lands a tad lower just because it doesn't have like the full, you know, band hitting like they do in like Eternity and many other songs on this album for me.
That's fair. Go ahead, Brennan. You can go first.
No, I was gonna say this was gonna be the third track that I was gonna list that I thought was weaker than the others. It doesn't like the whole like vibe of the track and like the instrumentals and everything like totally hit like much lower than the rest of the record. Some of like the vocal stuff like Kyle was talking about, you know, how like, you know, the different layering like becomes like backing vocals and like all that cool stuff. Yeah, he like Matt McAndrew pulls off really well in this track, but like the rest of the track around him is like super weak. Like, I mean, instrumentally, you know, a lot of the other tracks on this record and the previous record like hit way harder than this. And I remember like the first time listening to this album, like the whole way through, I thought like, man, like they're dropping the ball after Waiting on You. Like this is kind of rough. And then
Pretty sure
Dying
Dreams
Slow
came
comes
out as a
but-
single before Waiting on You, though.
Yeah, but I really didn't listen to the singles other
That's
than
fair.
like cutting it close because I was like, I don't want to. I'm kind of doing the same thing with the DGD record, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weaker track in my opinion.
I will say that the one thing that Dreams has over Eternity is that the chorus is way better.
That is true. Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of a battle between these two of like, do we think that having a better chorus is more important or having better anything else is important? And I mean, I feel that like Eternity probably gets the edge because of all the stuff surrounding it. But like the chorus in Dreams is like way better than the chorus in Eternity. So I don't know. I think that's what it's going to come down to, though. I don't think either of these songs should be under Gardens of Misery.
I agree.
So I think if these are going to be like these next three spots, Gardens of Misery has to be on the bottom. And then we just kind of have to decide where we want to put Dreams and Eternity above it.
I personally don't think like the Eternity chorus is that weak as you guys are. So for me, when I think like Dreams and Eternity have like close-ish choruses, because I do agree that Dreams is a really good chorus. So I think it gets the edge a little bit for me there. But like I think technicality-wise, the fact that Eternity has some like really, really cool shit. For like first, second, and third listen to this album, I like would go through and I mean, I listen to Dreams a lot more because, you know, single, but just going through, one of them caught me a ton more every time. Like I caught something new every time, and it was Eternity, and it was not Dreams.
That's fair. That's valid. What do you think, Brennan?
Put a gun to my head, I'd probably pick Eternity over Dreams. Because, like, the instrumentals of Dreams is, like, so weak to me. I mean, it's not much better in Eternity, I don't feel, but Eternity does like other things better, so I'd probably pick Eternity over Dreams.
Fair. Well, that makes it easy then. We're gonna lock those in, and we have 7 left, I think. You guys want to? You guys want to
Maybe.
table?
Ooh,
Sure.
what the hell do I table?
Setting some shit up. Kyle,
I
you
wanna
look
go.
constipated, so I'm gonna toss it over to you first.
Great.
I do
don't-
not want to go first.
I have no idea what to pick.
Oh, jeez.
We don't have to table if we're not ready. We can keep on trucking if we want to.
I mean, I don't know what I'd throw in the ring next. So how much do we like waiting on you? You know? Like how much do we like waiting on you?
A lot.
A lot?
But then
A lot
there's other
more
songs
than-
that I think might be like objectively better. So like
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, because like Brennan, you said it best when you were like, it does both. It does like it kind of sets the bar in some ways, but it also really does good. I think when I listened to it, I really got like you're getting a little bit of everything in this track, and you get like really like cooler moments of these things as you go on, like a big like woo of like the album, you know. And it starts on a really great place. Song is super solid. I think it like nails everything it does. But like I don't know, like it has like the fully exposed like waiting on you to go in the chorus and stuff. And they do that like in really cool transitional ways in other songs that like you know blends like a little bit better in my opinion. I think the chorus is really catchy, but it doesn't like knock my socks off like some other choruses in this album. It starts with a killer guitar riff, which is awesome, but like so do other songs that I think do everything else better as well. It's just it's in a weird place where like I think it does everything right, but nothing like spectacularly for me. And arguably that's what a great opener should do in my mind. So I don't know. I'm putting that out there. Putting that on the world.
I will say that I will not allow it to go below Blood Runs Cold. That is the only one that I
That's
will
fair.
be like hard no. Like that's just not gonna happen.
That's fair. I'm not too opposed to that idea actually either.
Um,
Brennan,
But I
you want to throw
mean-
a fucking a villain in the ring? Like, just another competitor? You just want to be like, oh shit, but like, what if this guy fought? And we're just like, oh fuck, and everything's just beating each other up. Throw in the pit, baby. Or do you want to take a side with one of these two?
I mean, I think Waiting on You is vastly superior to Blood Runs Cold.
Cool.
It wouldn't be what I would table, but because like I really like Waiting on You.
Same.
Like I think, like yeah, like like I get what you're saying. Like the transition between like the chorus and like you know the verses and then like the bridge to the end of the track, it is kind of rough compared to other tracks. But like how, like this song is like the epitome of like Matt McAndrew and the band like working together and like perfect like they're synchronized, like especially in the chorus, like the chord progression and how he like delivers the lyrics on top of that. Like that's what really like impresses me with like good choruses is like, you know, like whenever he's hitting like certain notes, like you hear like the chord progression change and then like, you know, like morph and like do its thing. And like in the chorus, like just how it's like the entire package is presented, I think like makes it like as good as it is.
Yeah, I can agree.
Now, I mean, yeah, and then like obviously like excellent riff to open the track. He like there's other tracks I feel like are better, but I don't think Waiting on You is a slouch in the slightest. Like this is a damn good opening
Yeah.
track.
I agree.
Because I
I
think
definitely think
that
it's a slouch.
I think, like you said, that there are like choruses that just like smoke this one, and I don't actually know. Like when I think of like the banging choruses on this album, Waiting on You is the one that my mind like jumps to. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I think this track is a banging chorus.
yeah.
But-
I mean, I don't think
that's
it's
like
a
the
bad
main
chorus at all.
draw of it. I mean, I
I
like
just-
every part of this song. Like I can see like to your points, Kyle. Like I can see like objective like technicality ways that this could be like held back, but I also think that like being a ripper should give it some leeway, because like even if it might not be like technically better than some of these other tracks, like it's a bop, and I'm gonna go to this one more than I'm gonna go to a lot of other tracks on this album personally. And I think that like if it's a bop, it's a bop, and that should kind of give it like some legs to stand on personally. I mean, so I definitely don't think Waiting on You is next, like at all.
Oh, I don't think so either.
To speak on the other one you threw out though, because I'd like to sell you on Blood Runs Cold a little bit, because it was another one I was kind of considering in this area. But in direct comparison to Waiting on You, I feel like it's actually a good comparison in a lot of ways. I mentioned the whole full stop thing right as the chorus begins. In Blood Runs Cold, they do like a full stop thing in the middle of the chorus, right as it sings like the Blood Runs Cold, like the title of the song. And it's like on an offbeat, like in the middle of like the second half of the chorus. And it comes in at such an interesting and like weird time that like I feel like it holds so much more weight that it's just like you're not really expecting it. It's like out of left field. It's very unique. I also just think in general the building of Blood Run Cold I think is really interesting. The flow within the verse is really good. Then you get like a really passionate, like strong chorus. The instrumental bridge like that leads into right before they go like double time into an acoustic moment. Like what the fuck? Like that's so cool. Like I love the fact that they give like the instrumentals a great time to do crazy fucking riffs. And then Matt comes in like, I'll never let you change, and like it double times up into an acoustic thing that is really beautiful, gives him like the falsetto moments. And then the entire last bit of the song, he like has the really crazy high Blood Runs Cold, and then he does like a crazy run off of Blood Runs Cold at the very end. Like I think there's just like so many cool like technical things that they do in this song that are just improvements to me on Waiting on You. I definitely agree with all your points of Waiting on You. Like I think it's an absolute, like the fact that it is a ripper, it does give it some legs. I just really like some of the technical stuff of Blood Runs Cold. Personally, put them out there.
It's fair.
Let them just let those seeds plant in your brain. You know, just
I'm torn because it's like there are times where I hate the way that we do this because like I feel like just because like Blood Runs Cold, sure, it does all these cool technical things that Waiting on You might not do, but like I feel like I would always choose to listen to Waiting on You over Blood Runs Cold, like without hesitation.
Without hesitation. That's pretty.
I will say, harsh. I know Tyler has said this about Demo Team. I really don't like how they like crunched and affected his voice during that double time bit.
For Blood Runs Cold?
Yeah, like for Blood Runs Cold. That bridge bit?
That's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, like I get it. Like it's a direction that they could have went and decided to go that route, but like that is Matt McAndrew that I don't like to listen to. Like the dude has pipes. The dude, I mean, you guys have him in contention as like one of the best singers we've ever heard. Why would you like lessen that in a part that I think is pivotal to the song, because it like starts like this wild bridge and transition into like the final chorus and into that acoustic part that I think is absolutely tasty. But just right there, how they like threw the effects on his voice, I'm not a fan of that. However, I do like the rest of the track, and I think it does a lot of stuff well. While Waiting on You doesn't have that problem at all.
That's fair.
So
I don't even have that problem. I just like Waiting on You more.
Yeah. I honestly, that's a really good point, Brennan, because it's a comment I made about in Ophelia, actually, where they have like that weird distorted vocal moment right after he has like a really fast, beautiful vocal moment. It seems like they just like to do that in like their music writing process, have like a weird contrasty moment, whether it be subtle like the crunching in Blood Runs Cold or the very drastic, severe distortion in Ophelia. You know, I think that's like a deliberate choice for them to have like the contrasting like crushed distorted next to like the more like light falsetto-y airy versions of him, like back and forth, which I mean creative choice that I feel like, you know, could go either way for any person that listens to it. Right. I think it's kind of cool, especially in Ophelia. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's like in this one, especially because I don't think it's that like in your face as Ophelia, so I don't feel as much, but it is a good point because it just seems like a general thing that they do that for a lot of people could be like a turnoff for this album.
I guess that's fair.
Subjectively.
Yeah.
I think Ophelia and Waiting on You are better than Blood Runs Cold.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the Lumineers. I think Ophelia by the Lumineers is pretty lit.
I don't even know what that is.
You never heard of the Lumineers?
I don't think so.
I've
definitely
heard
of a lot of things.
Oh, you definitely
you've
heard
probably-
of like Hey-O or whatever that track's
Yeah.
called.
I've probably heard it. I just don't know
Yeah.
the name of the band.
Okay.
Isn't that the band goes, hey, duh, duh, show me family? That one? You
Something
know?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, that one, that one. It's really good. Yeah, I wouldn't compare this band.
Ophelia.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
way better than that one.
Oh, yeah.
No, I love this band compared to Lumineers.
Just shit on Lumineers.
Just fuck you, Lumineers. I'm gonna hate on so
Oh,
many
shit.
bands these couple of weeks. No,
I don't think there's any Lumineers fans watching this.
It'd be so interesting if somebody was like, "Fuck, I can't believe you don't like the Lumineers. Take down your posters. I can't believe you don't like that. What the fuck, man?"
This is trash compared to Lumineers.
That's just gonna be a thing now that like people just tell me to remove my posters whenever I make a take that they don't agree with. Like
Yeah, until your wall is bare.
every time someone asks, I'll have to take one of them down.
You have to delete the channel when your wall becomes bare. It's just until that moment, just one mark against you. So what do you
Also,
think about
like-
these songs?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think
jeez.
that like I
I'm
think
fine with Blood
is
Runs
next.
Cold being
I just
next.
that's where my mind is going.
I'm fine with that.
That's
I just
fair.
wanted to like give it its fair shot because I like things it doesn't it. And don't get me wrong, things that we haven't even mentioned yet, I like a lot more than any of these songs that we're talking about right now. So
That is fair.
not super drastically peeved or anything about this one. So Kyle's tilt meter is very chill at the moment.
Good.
As far as so yeah,
Now,
I'm down for Blood Runs Cold being next.
I'm gonna pose you with this question again because this would split the remaining songs in half. If we were to do a round of tabling,
Yes.
we would be left with a top 3 and a mid 3.
Okay.
Yes.
But do you feel confident in choosing songs that deserve to be tabled?
I do.
Look, you guys
Yes.
don't trust me at all to table something.
I don't know.
That
Brennan seems confident though. I'll start with him.
Yeah.
What do you want to table?
Nothing left.
fuck.
I'm taking that's what Kyle was gonna do.
That
I was
song
thinking
is
the
an,
same thing.
that song's an absolute ripper, dude. Fucking send that shit.
Oh yeah, dude. Kyle. What you do?
I put old boy on the spot.
I feel like you know what I want to do, and I feel like you don't want me to do it. It's a mind game now. It's just a mind game.
Kyle,
Do I
just
go-
do it. Just do
Do I
it.
go with my heart and my soul?
Yeah.
Is this gonna be
That's what
another
tabling's
Padme
about,
moment?
bro.
I'm gonna table dying for.
Okay, that's what I was gonna pick anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay,
fair,
Now
fair,
I'm in a
fair.
tough spot because now I don't. This is like, it is bad for me because if I pick the wrong thing, there will be pitchforks flying
Yeah.
through my monitor right now from you two.
Yeah,
I have a thing that I want to do,
just do it, man.
but I know
Let's
it's
just do
not.
it. Let's cause chaos, baby.
I don't know.
Just do it. Follow your heart. Just do it.
Here's the thing.
That's what Rain City Drive would want.
Because my heart is telling me to, and because fuck you, Kyle, I'm gonna table Waiting on You.
I knew you were gonna do it.
Oh.
I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna do it.
I'm not
That is
opposed to
such-
that falling out of the top 3 if
the
arguments
bot
are made.
lives.
But it just feels right in my heart to do that. And in my defense, I was gonna table both of the other songs that you guys tabled first. So,
I mean, fair. I don't know. Maybe I just missed it, but like I thought "Waiting on You" was a really good song. I listened to it so many times, and then I listened to like the majority of songs that we haven't talked about yet, and I went, "Oh, these are cooler." So, I mean, maybe you'll convince me otherwise as we go.
Here's the thing.
But
at least as far as like singles go that are left,
mm-hmm.
I still think Waiting on You is better than Cutting It Close, if for no other reason than that the chorus is much more banging. And I love Cutting It Close. That made it into my top 5 songs of last year.
Mm-hmm.
But like, in comparing the two, I just think Waiting on You has like a little bit of an edge. Because I think that they're sort of similar in ways, as far as like the way they're structured a little bit. Because like I really like the way that the verses in each of the songs has like this really like punchy trademark Matt McAndrews flow to them, you know? Very in your face, very like craftfully woven lyrics, and it basically like I think Brennan said this earlier, maybe you said it, I don't remember. He basically kind of becomes his own instrument, I think. With the way that he manages to sort of make the lyrics come alive the way he does, with the way that he structures them in these patterns that are like very fresh and unique compared to stuff I hear from a lot of other bands. And I think he does a great job on both tracks with that. So that makes him dead even. But then you get to the choruses, and it's like the chorus in Cutting It Close, it's good. But the chorus in Waiting on You is great. And that gives it the edge for me. So that's where I'm at with those two. Just like in a head-to-head, like I have to pick Waiting on You above it, because I think it just has that little bit of an edge.
Damn.
Well, we've tabled what we've tabled.
We have.
So, guess it's time to talk about the other three.
And I think I'm right. So.
All right.
Tell them what it is.
If that's the case, I think Cutting It Close is the best of the next 3 songs we have to talk about.
I don't even know about that.
Did you?
I'm feeling
did
it.
you listen to the singles like more than like once? When you went ooh on our channel, did you listen to more than that?
I've listened to Cutting It Close and Waiting on You and Dying For about 385 times each.
Same. So how in the fuck do you think that Cutting It Close could be below Psycho and whatever the fuck else? What do we have?
Ophelia?
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. I just don't think it's
you
that
said, you
definite.
said I don't know about that.
Because I don't know. I think that there's an argument to be made for all 3 songs. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that obvious of a choice.
Okay, that's fair. I also don't think it's that obvious a choice. However, I just really think Cutting It Close is very good. I think
also
you're
think
selling
it's
its
very
scores short. I think it is about on par with Waiting on You, if not a little bit better, in my opinion. I also think that Cutting It Close has some incredible vocal bits that,
Definitely,
you know, are on par, if not better, than Waiting on You. So I don't know. I mean, it's just my opinion. You've tabled, so I'm just gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore.
Because I do really like Cutting It Close. I don't want to undersell that at all. Once again, was it in your top 5 singles of last year? No, it was in mine. So I've said good things about this song. I
was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna talk about Cutting It Close because it was in his top 5, and then you're like, oh.
But you know what? If Waiting on You had come out last year, I probably would have given it to that instead of Cutting It Close. But it didn't.
Damn.
So I didn't even have to make that argument to myself back then. That was all I had to work with.
Brandon, what do you think's up next?
What do I think was up next?
Yeah.
Psycho. I do enjoy the fresh, trap, take on music like this. I thought Stay in Atlantic had some pretty good bits in their record. But I think this kind of takes it to the next level. I think it's very deserving of being number 6. I believe that's what it would be at this point. But other songs just do choruses, verses, transitions, pretty much the whole shebang a little bit better. Not saying Psycho's a bad song. It's probably one maybe I'd revisit just because it's something different. It's a new kind of vibe. But I feel like Ophelia and Cutting It Close are stronger. So I'd probably go Psycho.
That's valid. I'm very torn on it because I think Psycho's a great song. It's one that I'm definitely going to be coming back to. It is very different. It's very outside of their comfort zone. In a good way, I think, but also it does kind of make me feel like I don't want to rank it too high because then it just feels wrong since it's not really like their typical style of music. But I do think that it was like a really awesome choice to make a song like that in this album because it works. That style of song works so well with the way that Matt McAndrew structures his verses and stuff. That was really just a way to kind of just like completely release that from any kind of like, boundaries at all. Like it's just completely unhinged. Like just rap, like just do it. Like stop like playing around it and just do it. And it's great. It's so cool. But if it's next, I wouldn't be opposed because I do think that, Ophelia has really great lyrical flow as in the first verse, especially. It's fucking awesome. And it has like arguably a punchier chorus, but it's kind of like a tie for me. I don't know. They're very different songs. So it's like hard to compare them, honestly. I don't know. What do you think, Kyle?
I like to go off what you were just saying because it's the exact same reason why I like Psycho so much, and I think I'd give it the edge between these two songs, in particular Ophelia and Psycho, is that we've talked kind of like like it enables Matt to like have his own like style, like be really injected in the song. Like if we were talking about it in the sense of it, like he kind of becomes his own instrument with the way that he like has like the percussive rap bits of his singing. He now becomes like the lead instrument in the ensemble of instruments that they have, and he like has like that melody instead of like a contrasting bit with like the guitar also being a lead bit. I think this like lets him just absolutely run wild. Has some incredible layered things going on. The second verse has these crazy layered falsetto things going on that is just fucking. Whew, I was getting hot and bothered. And I just fucking love it. This album always knows like the flow of a song, especially because of Matt's style, and this song is like one of the best places it shows it in a lot of ways. So it's like it feels like it's showing off so many awesome parts about what this band is doing with this sound right now, and doing something unique that also still really fits into what they're doing because of the trap influence.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think it's really great. I do agree that I don't want to like give it a ton of, push to like the top, because if we just really like went objectively like talking about, well, like it's cool they did this and this and this, you'd then be like kind of just forgetting like what Slaves was, and like how that part has been implemented in over time. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to push it too far, but I think fifth, like it cracking the top 5 and like sitting perfectly at like the bookend of the top 5 is like a really good place for it in my mind.
Another positive mark that I really want to give this song that I specifically noticed the last time I listened to it, right before we started recording. Normally, because like obviously the primary beat of this song is just like a very generic like trap beat. It's not actually being played on a drum set probably. And that's like, it's the safe thing. It works for it. What I thought was really cool was that like during like the chorus and stuff, like you can hear the actual drums come in like over top of like the trap beat thing, and he's doing like some double bass shit, and it's like really cool. And that was just like a moment that like really stood out to me of like, because that was gonna be like my one like big drawback was like, okay, well like it's kind of like, pulling the drums like out of the song and like replacing them with this thing that's in like everything, but they made it their own because they still included their own drums and just intermixed it in to like make it a new thing, and that was just so rad. And I really respected that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. In this moment, I kind of want to put Psycho over Ophelia, but I'm torn. Like, I could really go either way.
I'm in agreement with that thought. Whereas I like Ophelia a lot. However, my brain and heart are pushing me towards Psycho more.
I'm outvoted, but I'd put Ophelia over Psycho, but I respect your guys' points.
But like, I feel like if you like gave me a really good argument for Ophelia, I could be overturned. Like,
Yeah.
I am a weeble wobble, and I could fall down.
I don't think I could, because I look at them both very similarly. Because like for me, it's just personal preference. I don't really have anything like objective to rule one over the other.
That's fair.
But they're both pretty much same plane for me. I just prefer Ophelia.
Okay. Yeah, I think it really is one of these situations where it just kind of depends on the day for me. Like right now, I'm very much in like, I think I like Psycho a little bit better, but like if we were to record this tomorrow, I could flip-flop on it and just be like completely on side of Ophelia. So I think these ones could just go either way. But for today, I think we're going to put Psycho over Ophelia. Which brings us to the top 4. We are immediately hit with the controversial battle once again.
The single battle.
Does Waiting on You deserve to be third, or should Cutting It Close overtake it?
You guys are pretty much in agreement on it.
I've made my argument for this.
Yeah, and I feel like Brennan's also made his argument on it, and I've also talked about why I don't think, and just purely in that, I have been outvoted. So I am okay with just locking it in, Cutting It Close at 4. I'm glad it got this eye. I think it's personally better, but I'm outvoted, so.
I do really like the verses in Cutting It Close. Like, it does make me happy that they have the bass, like, mixed in how they do. I'd have to go Waiting on You, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's close, but
Yeah,
I just feel like it has like that little the chorus being catchy as hell is really the thing that just gives it that little bit of edge.
Fair.
So I'm gonna keep it that way, but I don't think Waiting on You should be higher than third because I think that Nothing Left and Dying For are both better, which is weird because like when I did the reaction to Dying For, I was like, this is like a decent song, but I think that the other singles are better. And like the more I've listened to it, the more I'm like, no, Dying For is just like actually incredible. Like every time I listen to it, I like it more. The ending
I was
of
so
it,
nervous.
The ending of it just makes me come. Like it makes me come like a solid object out of my pee. It's like a candle. It's like candle wax.
You having like kidney cum?
Yeah,
instead of a kidney
that's a gross
stone.
way of okay.
I hate it. Wow.
But yeah, like it's
I
just,
went on a fucking roller coaster listening to how you just described your reactions to this song. Come. Like a solid
but no,
object.
I really like
candle.
Dying For like the oh bits. I'm not gonna try to do it because I can't, but like you know what I'm talking about because all he says is oh like a lot of times, and he does that at like the end of all the choruses, and it's like really fucking beautiful. And then like at the very end of the song, it's like it all like drops out, and it's like he does that, but it's like falsetto and like on steroids, and it's just like angelic, dude. Like it's so fucking cool, and that alone is like makes it a god tier song, and the rest of the song is good too. So I mean, it's just a good song. I really didn't give it the credit. It's a grower, not a shower of a song, you know.
Yeah, that's why I was like really like I feel like it's a mental battle when I was on the table earlier because I remembered that you were like it's good, and I was just like I like from day one I was like this song's fucking crazy, and then you guys were like and I was like no what's happening. Right, it has the trap influence like crazy, especially in the verses. Has really fucking awesome layering. The first verse has like that harmony bit that happens where they climb and sing the Heaven Sent part, and then like his high harmony drops and does like a backing vocal as he keeps going up. So cool. And that is like the littlest thing compared to like the choruses where he just absolutely fucking kills it. The OOO thing that you were talking about, like on a technical level, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Because like he's like going through like ranges in his voice and doing it without like hiccuping as he's like switching ranges. It's just, and then the ending bit is like possibly one of the prettiest things I've heard.
Yeah.
Ever, actually. It's just fucking gorgeous.
I honestly think that Dying For could have been the album ender just because of that ending. I feel like honestly it probably would have been a more effective album ender than fucking If I Was Right.
I agree. It's a note that I made, and I'm glad you brought it up because I totally agree. Especially with the way the song ends, it still gives you that like intimate, like stripped down bit right at the end.
Yeah, it's like cuddling after boning, and that's what you want from an album ender. You don't want it to just be like a random thing that ends and then you're back to the beginning of the album. Like I feel like it is with If I Was Right. Like Dying For spoons me at the end, and that's what you need from like a proper album ender, right?
Yeah.
I just think mistakes were made in the order of these songs. But how do we think that this song compares to Nothing Left? Because we have not talked about Nothing Left at all. Brandon, I'm gonna let you talk about it first since you're the one that tabled it.
I think Nothing Left is an absolute masterpiece. It hits really hard. The opening riff is amazing. I think this song does the verses similar to Cutting It Close, but like better. Like it's very like bass driven, a little bit of like accent, like, guitar in the background. Choruses top notch. The transition from the end of the chorus back into the second verse is amazing. And the bridge where like in the background you hear him like taking off, like while he's like singing like kind of low, I think is absolutely epic. Leading into the final chorus, I mean, to me this song is like perfection. Not saying like to me this is like the true like head to head, because I feel like the ending of Dying For kind of like carries like a shit ton of weight. But to me, like Nothing Left is probably like the most perfect song on the record. Like I cannot find a single fault with it in my own lens.
Yeah. I feel like Nothing Left is just like the best. I've used this like metaphor in other album reviews, but like it really is just like the perfect vertical slice of like where the band is at now. Like it features all of the positive things that we praise them for on like all these individual tracks. It's just everything that you want from a Rain City Drive song in their current state, and it does all of those things extremely well. There's no problems with it. It's a grower and a shower. I just think that like objectively it is just like the peak of where the band is at right now, in my personal opinion. Not to preemptively place my vote or anything. I just feel like Nothing Left is like just a rock solid package, and I don't think there's any way to like bump that down even below Dying For.
Damn.
Kyle.
To begin, I would just like to harken back to a moment where Brennan tabled a song and I was very upset. There's a reason I wanted to go for this one first. And I think it's pretty much the same thing that both of you have said this up to this point. It's just like, I have mentioned many times, especially when we're talking about like Waiting on You, especially, where I'm like, other songs do some of these things better. This is the song where it does all of the things. Like it nails it in everything it does. It gives you a bit of like a grooviness in the verses where like he gets to like do his stuff. The choruses have like the very passionate high notes in them that I like from like Eternity and stuff. You get like the crazy bridge where he gets the crazy soaring vocals. Even like that final chorus, he's got the layered vocals with the instrumentals going crazy. Drums absolutely fucking tearing it up. Something that we haven't even like talked about a lot is the drums in this song, or in this album rather, are actually are so important at so many times. Yeah. You really feel it present. Sure. Usually in most reviews we bring it up all over the place, but in this album they should have been, because we just kind of we fucking gushed about the vocals or whatnot. But like, remember how I mentioned that there was like I like the way like they utilize like the full stops. There's like a moment where like the drums do like a fucking like quick hit and like have a full stop after like the first chorus, I think it is maybe. And it just, you feel that, especially because the drums like accent that like big hit to like go into like a moment of silence as you go back into the groovy second verse. It's just, the vertical slice metaphor is a very good way to talk about it. I'm very glad you brought that metaphor up, because that's, I think that perfectly describes. It's like, while Dying For, I think, I love clean vocals, and that song is just a wet dream. The fact that like he takes the lead so much in that song It does a lot of the great things too. I mentioned the trap. I mentioned a lot of things as well. But like this song is just like the culmination to me. Like it brings everything together, and it fucking right into the best. Perfect song.
Yep.
Well, that's it, folks. That was a very easy, straightforward top 3 right there.
Hell yeah, we love to see.
Yeah.
It.
Hell yeah, man. I guess that's it. I'm gonna do the recap and then we're gonna take off. This was not that bad today. A few little rough patches, but as far as things go, I mean, this is about as smooth as we can expect on a regular basis. So good job, us. At number, how many songs are in this album?
11.
At number 11 is If I Was Right. Number 10, Gardens of Misery. Number 9, Dreams. Number 8, Eternity. Number 7, Blood Runs Cold. Number 6, Ophelia. Number 5, Psycho. Number 4, Cutting It Close. Number 3, Waiting on You. Number 2, Dying For. And number 1 is Nothing Left. And just like that, we have made it to the end of another riveting album review. And I hope that everyone at home enjoyed it. I expect if we get people commenting their personal rankings in the comments below of this, which you should do if you listen to this, I expect they're going to be completely different. And I think that this is an album where the songs are all so strong, like on their own, that people are going to have different experiences with it, and no one is really going to be wrong. I think as long as, like, If I Was Right is at the bottom of everyone's lists, then everyone's lists are correct.
I kind of am in agreement with it. Like, even when you first brought up Gardens of Misery being the very bottom, I struggled to agree mentally, because I was like, there are things the song does really well. Objectively, I could see it being pretty much everywhere. I don't know about all the way up, but like pretty much anywhere on the list, you know? I could see it you sliding up the list a little bit. So literally 10 of these songs are like almost neck and neck to me in my mind. I could come back to literally any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, I think that every single song on this album, except for If I Was Right, is like really great. And I'm gonna come back. I've been listening to this album a lot. I was traveling over the past several days, and every time I was in the car, I was just listening to this album. Partially because I needed to prep for this, and also partially just because it was really good, and I just really been enjoying it. It's definitely up there as far as albums go for this year so far. We'll see where it lands at the end of things, because we still got some fucking hot tune baskets coming up here.
Big boys. All in all, though, I'm really excited to see where Rain City Drive goes. I feel like they've kind of found a new like trap-inspired sound, and they're really kind of getting their groove with Rain City Drive as like this new thing. And this is a good stepping stone towards like a really cool place. Definitely like one of my most interested in bands at the moment, just to see the potential of. If we were to like redo our top 10 bands episode, these guys would be in it for sure. 100%. Same.
100%.
We should think about that one day.
We should. I have been thinking about that.
Let us know if you want to see it.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to do a brand new top 10 bands or top 5 bands or whatever episode, because we'll do it. Maybe not this year, but we'll do it at least next year. I'd like to.
For
Life
sure.
is crazy right now, so I can't guarantee like anything soon. I'm buying a house. By the time this goes up, I will have bought a house, but I'm buying a house in 2 days as of this recording. So
holy shit. Tyler's a fucking man now.
Don't have time for extra recordings at all, but
damn. The brick house is buying a real house. This is insane.
I'm the last one of the 3 of us who does not own a house, and then by the time this comes out, all 3 of us will own houses. That's crazy. Wow. Man.
That's wild.
We're all adults.
Basically playing Monopoly. This is crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy some rental properties and force Tyler to land on them, so he owes me money.
You will land on my boardwalk and you will pay. Don't you worry.
Anytime you guys visit my place, you owe me rent. That's how that works, because Monopoly. It
is unfortunate you put your house like right near income tax. I'm gonna have to take like a weird like route around to like not hit income tax. But like
and I'm specifically moving closer to you so that it happens as frequently.
I mean,
like the income tax part, or like us like seeing each other?
Both.
Bittersweet.
Meanwhile, I will be infinitely further away from Brennan, and he will not have to worry about it, which is unfortunate, but that is the way that worked out. Anyway, this bit sucks, and we're going to end the episode. So, please comment below with your personal rankings of what you thought of Rain City Drive's self-titled album, because we would love to hear it, as always. Please give this video a like if you liked it, because that really helps out a lot. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the Talks a Lot Boys by now, what the heck and fuck are you doing? Just go down there and do that and ring the bell, and then you'll get notified whenever anything comes out with our beautiful faces. I do reactions sometimes. We do our other show, Battle of the Bangers, where we are currently having a battle of the Sad Summerfest bands, the tour that none of us went to tonight. And that one's been really fun. And we're doing more album reviews. We'll be doing the Dance Gavin Dance album review really soon, and the Royal Coda album's coming up, and Polyphia, and just a bunch of shit. It's gonna be great. So you're gonna want to be along the ride for it, and just heck yeah. I'm tired. We're done. We've been the Talks a Lot Boys. We'll be talking a whole lot more next time. Goodbye.